Welcome to our market environment audit for Flyers Cocktail Co. Flyers is a New York City-based business which was created in 2021 by UOW alumni who noticed a gap in the market for CBD beverages and thus created the first of its kind for the state.
Flyers sells 237 ml of non-alcoholic CBD cocktails, which come in 3 flavors. Brooklyn Gold Highball, which has a flavor of oak, vanilla, and bitters. Sydney Spritz Highball, with a flavor of botanical bitters and mandarin. And finally, Tokyo Mark Highball, which has a flavor of yuzu, bitter orange, and chili.
The international marketing capability of Flyers Cocktail Co. is influenced primarily by the legal aspect of internationally distributing products with THC. Recreational consumption of marijuana is legal in 6 countries, 1 Australian territory, and 18 US states and 2 territories, alongside Washington, D.C. Decriminalisation is an increasingly popular stance for countries to have and is adopted by 31 countries, 1 Australian state, 13 US states, and 1 territory. We have introduced 4 potential countries as target markets and will consider political, economic, social, and technological factors included in introducing Flyers cocktails into their country's market.
The Netherlands is a country that has been considered for the implementation of Flyers products. Statistics show from World Bank 2020 the estimated Dutch population is 17.44 million. The capital of the Netherlands is Amsterdam and is the focus for the Flyers beverages, as it is the ideal city with its flourishing cafe culture and nightlife that accepts and adopts cannabis culture. $1 is approximately 0.91 euros. Amsterdam is also a great city to be considered, as Amsterdam were very early adopters of the decriminalisation of cannabis, with its policy being introduced in 1976. There are major misconceptions about the law surrounding cannabis in the Netherlands, as cannabis is not legal in the country. However, there is a toleration policy that decriminalises the sale of cannabis in coffee shops in small quantities. Cannabis in drinks are also a part of this toleration policy, only if the amount of THC is under 0.05. Economically, the Netherlands and the USA have a great trade relationship, as the USA is the largest foreign investor to the Netherlands, making the trade and selling of the Flyers beverages to be an easy and thoughtless process. The sale of cannabis is a large commodity, as coffee shops contribute to over 400 million euros annually in taxes, highlighting its contribution to the economy. The Netherlands as a country is ranked 4th in the 2019 World Economics Global Competitiveness, which is a flourishing environment that will benefit the Flyers. While the decriminalisation of cannabis has been largely accepted in the legal and political environment, the use of cannabis on a monthly basis is not as high as competing countries. A journal article revealed that only 10% of 15 to 43-year-olds in the Netherlands self-reported their use of cannabis on a monthly basis. While it is legal in coffee shops, the cannabis culture is not as prevalent compared across other European nations. While the use of cannabis is low, positive attitudes are still high and prevalent, as 65% of Dutch people believe in the legalization of cannabis globally in parts of the world such as Africa. Lastly, the Netherlands is a highly technologically advanced nation, as they rank 2nd in the world for connectivity, as 98% of households have a broadband connection. Also, the Netherlands is ranked 6th in the Global Innovation Index in 2021, indicating that the Netherlands is a nation of connectivity and acceptance of innovation.
The target country I have chosen is Spain. Spain is a potentially profitable target country for Flyers to expand and enter the foreign market, as the country is already known for its high volume of trends involving recreational cannabis consumers amongst its target market of adolescents and adults. The cannabis culture in Spain is a well-developed and sophisticated market. Statistics show that Spain has the highest prevalence of cannabis users in Europe as of 2021. This showcased that 11% of the population consumed cannabis in 2021, the demographic being predominantly adults. Political. It is illegal in Spain to sell cannabis to others, but it is legal to consume it in a private setting. Flyers markets a product that is infused with cannabis, therefore being legal to sell for those over the age of 18, while still being consumed in a private club or at home. Cannabis came back on the political agenda in the wake of the changing European attitudes towards the regulation of the industry. Political initiatives towards the regulation of cannabis have been led by the rapidly increasing demand for recreational consumption of CBD-infused paraphernalia. Economic. The cannabis business is thriving in Spain. With the high profit margins associated with the drug and the low risk of long-term jail time, it is one of the most profitable agricultural products in Spain. Cannabis consumers have filled the tourism void in the country's most populated cities. With the collapse of tourism, locals and social associations have broadened their marijuana market to appeal to the consumer demand for normalized and socially accepted consumption. Flyers introduces a new category of cannabis-infused products which has not yet been introduced to the cannabis culture in Spain. It has vast potential of economic growth in the country. Its leading factors include its appearance, ingredients, and demand for Spain's cannabis consumer market. Social. While cannabis is illegal in Spain, including Madrid, its capital city, it is legal to consume the drug in a private setting, such as a private cannabis club. These legislations influence most consumers to join a verified cannabis club to legally consume the drug in a safe and regulated social setting. Spain has over 500 cannabis clubs, with about 10% of them in its capital city of Madrid. Cannabis clubs provide forms of employment including regulation agency officers, certified farmers, and club staff. Flyers products would appeal to these clubs as its consumers are always looking for unique ways to freely consume cannabis in its different forms. These social clubs are always on the lookout to invest in new cannabis-infused products to market to its club members, and Flyers definitely fits the demographic and theme for Spanish consumers. Technological. 87% of the population has access to the internet. The most popular social media in Spain is Facebook and Twitter. Cannabis-associated paraphernalia and associations have a wide presence in social media and social cannabis clubs, frequently promoting and showcasing its product online. Flyers has a social media presence on Instagram and Facebook. It could use these methods of social media to reach its desired target markets.
I'll be talking about Canada and the different components of the country that make it an ideal choice for Flyers Cocktail Co. To begin, Canada is located in North America with 10 provinces and 3 territories. Its capital city is Ottawa, and it's the world's second largest country by total area. It has a population of 38 million people, and it considers itself to be a model multicultural society. Both in intellectual capital and natural resources it is strong, and its exchange rate is 1.25 Canadian dollars to $1 US. Next is the pest analysis. Politically, Canada is under a liberal parliamentary democracy. It was the first G20 country to legalise recreational marijuana use, a big move for the Intergovernmental Forum considering the other progressive countries are part of it. According to the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, the passing of legislation to legalise marijuana was pushed by the need to address criminal justice system inequalities against Black and Indigenous Canadians, who faced racial targeting and prejudice for marijuana-related crimes. Economically, the median total income for families in Canada is $70,336 Canadian dollars. It is one of the wealthiest countries in the world and is one of the top 10 trading nations. Their trade is primarily with the USA, and they have an agreement called the US-Canada Free Trade Agreement and another free trade agreement that includes all of North America called the North American Free Trade Agreement. Socially, they are a very multicultural country, with it becoming a national policy back in 1971. There is a strong British and American influence within their culture and food, fitting for an American business to be encompassed by. A 2017 survey found that 46% of Canadians aged 20 plus, which at the time was around 16.8 million of their then population of 36.5 million, had consumed cannabis within the previous 12 months. Technologically, over 80% of the population are considered internet users, and Canada is home to the world's largest tech hubs, as well as the highest educated workforce. CBRE, an American commercial real estate services and investment firm, included Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Ottawa to be among their top 20 tech talent markets in North America. Based on each of the political, economic, social, and technological factors mentioned, I believe this would make Canada an ideal target country for Flyers to establish its business. Based on the information about each of the countries presented, we believe the best country for Flyers Cocktail Co. to target is Canada. A political and legal impact of introducing the business to this country would be how it will further encourage equality within the criminal justice system, as Flyers will become another CBD cocktail business to operate in the Canadian market and further normalise cannabis consumption among marginalised races. An economic impact of particular importance is how money will be saved on wages, because even though labour costs in Canada are 2 points higher than in America, hourly wages are on average $6 cheaper than in the US.
Sociocultural impacts. Consumer attitude towards cannabis consumption is overall pretty positive. The trends in cannabis-infused paraphernalia appeal to consumers of all ages and cultures. The country's cannabis culture since its legalization has thrived, boosting employment and increasing welfare dependency.
Environmental impacts. Since its legalization, cannabis has contributed to $43.5 billion Canadian in taxes. indicating promising future profits. Lastly, 2011 saw the annual Global Marijuana March in Queen's Park, Toronto, which brought tens of thousands of people to march for the legislation of cannabis and continued to bring large crowds until its legalization.
Here are our provided references and sources.